let's now talk about something a little more complicated. Let's talk about a harness, right? And I'm just going to close out of this project, and then you'll see that I have a new project called harness routing.
Okay.
And in this one, I have the same single line diagram that has lots of information on it. So there's four connectors on the right side, and then there's a J1 and J2 on the left side. So got all these connectors are connected together inside of a harness. Now this harness could represent a like a power harness or like a harness that goes on some machinery. Like think of like a car harness or like a radio
Yeah,
harness.
sure.
Now, you'll notice that there's J1 here and then J2 down here. Under J2, we call this a connection label, and it shows you kind of like the from to information, kind of like what you were talking about with a pipe route earlier.
Yeah.
But it shows you like, hey, J2 pin 1 connects over to, and its function, location, components, so J5 pin 4.
Okay. Yeah, it's a from to list,
Does,
exactly.
yeah, it doesn't have any wire numbers or wire lengths or anything like that, so we're kind of not done here. But notice that up here on J1, this is empty. The reason that this is empty is that someone missed our J1 connector on our multi-line schematic.
Okay.
So this is a problem. We could go into our design rule checks and we could look for this, but let's just fix the issue. I'm just going to hit Control C, an engineer and designer's favorite command, copy and paste. I don't know about you, but that's definitely one of my
I mean, for
commands.
sure, that's slick, but you've got, is it the same connection? You get a second J2 in here, right?
Yeah, well, once I place it, it goes to the next
Ah, okay.
available J, which in this case is J7. And that's not right. So to fix this, we can right click, we can go to symbol properties, and we're going to tell it, hey, you are J1. And now down here it says the symbol will be associated with the selected component.
Okay, perfect.
And so J7 goes away because it's not really there, and then J1 gets populated. And if we jump back over here, you'll see that J1 table, this connector table, has now been populated.
Awesome.
Super handy. Now, this will also get populated if I go to process a number of new wires and hit yes. Once I do that, all the wire numbers get populated in every table as well. Now, the only thing that's missing now is wire
And
length.
now we have all
Well,
the
well,
the info for 3D side, right? Like if you didn't have the destination info in here, it wouldn't be able to route over in 3D. Is that right?
that's correct.
Okay.
And all that destination information comes from here. So how does this wire connect? And you can follow it. So that's the from to information that's being created is with this schematic.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, what I want to do is make sure that all of this, everything on this page is part of a harness. So when I right click on it, I can then go to add remove from harness. You'll see that some of these things are in a harness, some of them are not. So we'll just say that we're going to add it all to a harness and we're going to call this H1 and we'll hit select. Now everything's inside of H1 and we can confirm that by going here to harnesses. You see I have an H2. There's nothing in that, so I could just delete H2. And then H1 contains wires and components.
Okay.
So if I were to generate a bill of material for a harness, it would show me all the wires and all the components associated with harness H1.
Okay. I'm following you then on the schematic side at least.
Perfect. Now let's jump into your world, right? The mechanical space. Over here, I'm going to close out of our project that we have. I don't need to save it. And I'm going to close the electrical project as well. And then I'm going to come over here to the open project and I'll open it in 3D. So now that I have this, I can then open the assembly.
Okay. And this, I imagine, it's just one way to get to the assembly. Like if you open it from some other form, like I don't know, you go to it in your PDM system or something. If it's the right assembly, it's you'll get the same info.
That's correct. I was getting an error about multiple sessions, and have you ever heard about a journal file?
Yeah, I know about journal files.
Yeah, those journal
I've
files.
yeah. I mean, you are doing everything in one back and forth, so not super
Absolutely.
surprised. But that journal file, man, sometimes I get folks who are real concerned when they see it. You know, when you have two sessions running, SolidWorks will give you that journal file warning, and it kind of sounds like things are really broken and whatnot. I think it's interesting. I'm just gonna set up for a second for the folks that are watching. You know, SolidWorks, every time you're running it, is keeping a log of things that it's doing. Whether you send that info back to help SolidWorks improve their performance or not. It's writing that stuff down. Basically, it's keeping a journal of the stuff it's doing. And if you run two SolidWorks.exes at the same time, it can't write that journal file twice. It's like, I don't know what to do about that. And that's what it's telling you. So normally that's the case. If you look in your task manager or something, you'll have SolidWorks.exe in there more than once.
Yep. Ending those tasks will prevent, you should prevent any journal file issues. But what I did is I closed SolidWorks, opened it back up, and it seems to not be angry with me any longer.
At least, maybe that's
So
the technical side I'm
let
I'm familiar with. Okay, so you got that assembly opened up, and then in this case, it's already got all the components I saw on the schematic in here, right?
Absolutely. And so this is a little bit different scenario where previously we were right-clicking and inserting these components,
Yeah.
and then we were routing with those inserted components. This would be a scenario where like you had already placed all the components in your assembly, and then now we need to route the harness.
Okay.
So instead of inserting, I have to associate. So I'm going to right-click on this because it already exists. I'll choose associate.
Okay.
Once I do
Yeah.
that, all I have to do is click the 3D
This
model.
is perfect to show. So from the mechanical side, like in the first scenario, I pretty much would need to wait until the electrical person has done their job and I could start my job. But really, you don't have to. You could do your job on the mechanical side, and then when the schematic has been built, you come in here and make the associations and say, oh, that's what this one is in the electrical world.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would not suggest that you have a linear process where it's like, hey, schematic needs to be done, and then you start in 3D. I would suggest that you run a parallel process and start modeling whatever you need to model and place the connectors as they need to be placed.
Yeah, sure. That's way more efficient. I mean, that's kind of the
Now, I
point of the
do need to
SolidWorks ecosystem for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I do need to associate seven of these, so just bear with me as I right click and associate with each one of these components. But this is the last one, and then I can hit my green check. Now, remember we talked about those EW paths.
Yep.
Uh, a harness needs an EW path as well. So this one has an EW path, pretty basic, just a couple turns. But this is how our harness will then be connected. If you needed to, you could always edit this sketch and you could go to like normal to the front plane or in this case, normal to the top plane. Maybe I want to scooch this back, which is definitely a technical term, make it a little bit shorter. And then you can exit this sketch and we can then route set harness because now it's a little bit further back from the
Yeah,
connectors.
okay.
And you could do that after the fact too.
You just do after the fact and then rebuild?
Yep,
Cool.
absolutely. Let's click on this button because we've done harness or we've done cables and we've done wires. But now let's do a harness. Now, when I do this, I'm going to say let's do 100. Let's do actually, yeah, let's do 150. That should work. And then we'll hit our green check. If we need to reroute it, it's not a big deal. But what it's going to do is says, all right, well, I understand all those from twos for all the wires that are inside of this harness. And then it
Wow.
understands how all of them are terminated. And you see it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
You can even see all the wires or what we call cable cores connected to each one of these
Oh
connectors.
wow, that's really cool. So they're actually running inside of that harness all the way through. And then the only thing I noticed is it didn't. I don't know if you need a EW path modification, but it skipped your clip. That
Yeah, that little guy.
yeah.
Uh,
Don't worry about that little guy.
so, yeah, if you need to move your harness or change your path, there's two ways to do it. You either modify your EW path before you route, or once it already exists, all you got to do is right click on this and choose Edit Route. Once you're in the Edit Route, you have your routing tools, and there is a route through clip.
Okay.
So I can say, hey, I want this path through
Through the
that
axis of the
axis.
clip.
Yep. And so route selection, this selection right here, through that clip, hit our green check, and then it yells at us. So let's try again. Clip selection, this axis, this route selection, and then
There you
green
go.
check. There we go.
Yeah, it seems
You
like
know,
yeah, and
SolidWorks.
I mean that's just a regular route tools. Like now we're in the route tools that have been in SolidWorks forever. Like what you call the
Correct.
standard transmission route tools.
Yeah, absolutely.